One of the most important things the masses can do at this point, if we're having difficulties or having struggling to stay connected to the source, the creator, the higher self, we can at least learn to differentiate circumstances, see the contrast between different circumstances. For example, like if you're a young person, um, playing video games all day and staying connected to the technology, and the contrast between someone who is outside playing around and spending time in the environment, and get to know these contrasts between these different circumstances, because when we are in collective consciousness, when we're connected position, it is very easy to navigate life, and it's sometimes it's hard to comprehend, because we know that inherent connection, we know that unconditional love, the importance of staying protected by staying connected to the source God. This is how we protect our mind, body, spirit, divine vessel. So these little housekeeping tips, if we are having a hard time connecting or understanding, when we recognize the contrasts in our everyday circumstances, we would have much easier time maybe to navigate information. Anything that we do externally, different spiritual advisors come to us with different perspectives, which is highly appreciated. But we just have to continue doing so, although we can make these excuses. It's not our responsibility, it's a personal responsibility. It's we can make people think or do anything they don't want to, which is highly accurate, but the sun is never going to stop shining because there is a shadow or a mountain or something is continue to do its job. So when you come to realize the struggles the human species are continuing to get entrapped with, we have an easier time to show a little bit of compassion and trying your best to maybe plant a seed in somebody's mind, because we continuously seek information. We have a easier time to navigate, although we have many different things that we should be discouraged and be hurt or scared, but nevertheless we continue to mature in our path, because or clear path, because our connection, our faith, our um, uh, desire to continue to get into a frequency of flow is much important. And this is why we never stop, and we try to encourage people by showing the contrast between circumstances, so then you can take a moment and you can realize what is this is all about. We want to explore in depth, and we need to understand and recognize what is really happening. So this is why we never give up. One of the things I hear from people, when you're kindest to others, they will sabotage you or backstabbing or ignore you in a ways that is hurtful. So then it's discouraging for the person who is showing kindness, balance, and compassion, because they feel unappreciated. But the real reason is, though, when you show somebody compassion and kindness and love uh, to someone who is really lacking or lack of understanding of their self-worth, it is kind of hard thing to comprehend. So they try to fall back and be short with these individuals, although their intention was really good because they recognize the value of someone, so they go to that extra mile to be kind and compassionate for another because they are coming from a place of understanding. Therefore, you express or you extend that same level of hopefulness to another, and what they are doing, instead of appreciating or acknowledgement, they pull back and shut down completely. It is a bitter pill to swallow. We've all been there, done that, but it doesn't mean that they're not recognizing, personally internalizing, because someone else value them, and when they are not valuing themselves, it is important to uh, understand these little housekeeping tips. The another is, every time when you go out, do some things and experience something without internal acknowledgement of circumstances, it is like a Christmas tree. You continue to decorate beautifully with all the beautiful decor, but there is no real connection there. One little wind will blow them off. This is how life is, because we are so accustomed to ignore the important things, which is our internal dialogue with what we are going through. But we don't want to spend time and focus on internal things, but we like to spend time exploring external things. But it's never going to last long, because it is like a Christmas decor. It's no real connection. It is not coming from a depth or a strong foundation, because of your lack of because of our lack of true connection to the power and the source God. So these difficult times, we are all trying our best to maybe come up with the different solutions. Now, the technology is in everyone's mind. We are so over obsessed with the technology. We don't really know where to draw the line. We don't know the boundaries. We are just getting consumed by these technology. Like everything else, technology is need to be handled with a caution. uh, One of the most clear example I can come up with, I used to go and pay my bill at the store. I don't want to say any names, but it's a little outlets they have, and the people are always so lined up. Even the most quiet days you go there, they're always crowded and everyone's lining up, but none of them seems happy and content. They are trying to figure out the best solutions to their problems. They got these equipments changing, readjusting, and trying to have a better plan, because one of the clearest observation, these things aren't food, these things aren't sheltered, so they are not the basic necessities in life, but somehow they got into these things. You hear people have bills like 800, 900 because they have a consolidated accounts. These are very high numbers for people to comprehend. Just mom and dad maybe are working hard, harder than ever, trying to come up with a solution and to pay up these things that are not basic necessities. It is a really time consuming, stressful, and I'm not sure if we're getting our money worth from these equipments. They consume your time and energy for sure, that you don't have because you're struggling elsewhere. So it's important to pay attention and prioritize what you're putting out, what consumes your energy, and see the contrast. And then somebody like me go there smiling and a really little number, and because you have a basic something, because we're human beings, we just want to do things, trying to fit in or whatever. But the reality is, though, you're using them for entertainment and to maybe enhance your circumstances by doing like these little videos or something. But we're not consumed by it. It's not so overwhelming that we have to spend and utilize a substantial level of time and energy to come up with, to support these habits we have. You have to weigh and balance how much you're willing to sacrifice. The business model is the same thing. While the masses are struggling, you see the business models elsewhere is extremely desperate circumstances, whether you go to dentist, or for example you go to any kind of outlet, hair, whatever. It's like people are in a desperate circumstances. They're desperately trying to support the system that they have created, or the business model, but it's not enough coming. Perhaps it's not something that you want to perpetuate. um, and another area is how we are constantly complaining how the authorities are abusing their authority or power. But we have to pay attention the contrast between ordinary people, how we treat other human beings in any circumstances. For example, we can in healthcare, you see there is a staff coming. The ill and sick individuals, some of them, they are thriving in their circumstances because we have a healthy balance and we shift the energy around a little bit. But the others, it's an extremely toxic environment. Can't stand anyone who is going to support, like a support team, always complaining, always angry, always trying to cause stress for the staff members. These are like, because of our pain and our suffering is so major, we don't know how to come to terms with it. So then everything and everyone around you is very challenging for them. Same thing in the family stress level. The parents or adults, they have this authority over you, but it doesn't mean that they are doing um, the best for you because of the level of toxicity that they know how. They try to continue with the manipulation and programming and scaring and challenging them, say something's very inflammatory. Is a toxic environment then. So we have to pay attention to these areas. The another is employment. And if you're the best person, if you're trying to pull your weight and become a person that who collaborate and trying to sort of do the best, and they are like unhealed trauma bodies there, or the gatekeepers, they are constantly trying to sabotage you and cause you level of stress. This is how the system is built. So we have to learn to navigate and differentiate the contrast with these case studies and scenarios. These are important things in this school of life, and this is how we observe and we elevate, because then we internalize and learn how to heal ourselves and release from some of these negative things. The karma is a real thing, but most people have a hard time comprehending this thing because we are reluctant to take the personal responsibility of our participation. It doesn't have to be overnight, but with time, we need to see people changing some perspective so that we know we're in a right path and a connected state. If we are constantly someone is trying to say something and another is constantly close mindedness, it have bad consequences really, because then we're not people that is flowing with the different information. We're just stuck in a rut and a stalemate circumstances. It's really important for us to navigate life and change perspectives with a different outcome, different observation, different understanding. Because karma is a real thing. If you argue that, oh, well, maybe don't speak so much about karma, maybe they're paying off their karma. Sure, it's possible. It is, yeah, it seems very productive conversation, but it doesn't prevent you from creating more karma, because we're on the surface, we are knowledgeable, we have wisdom, we are intelligent species. So then you have to know what you're putting out, what kind of or what level of stress you're causing for another. Just like the radio frequency, we are sort of circulating in the similar energetic frequency with the similar scenarios. Then we are sort of going to attract the same thing. It's a common sense observation. Um, this is what we need to pay attention so that we can change and shift our understanding. Now, like a black sheep, we have, because we're not so personally involved in what other people do. You rehash with the different, like especially when it comes to your family, you forget, you have forgotten, you understand, then you revisit these scenarios again, then you realize how stuck these people are, even despite your goodness, and you try to have another one last time connection maybe, but they are still the same and nothing has changed, no perspectives change, doesn't really understand the level of toxicity we have put out. So then acknowledgement, even slightest bit, is extremely hostile, met with extreme hostility. So then you realize these people haven't changed over the years. It doesn't matter how many years gone by, they are still the same. Their ideas, their perspectives, their behaviors never change. Like toxic families, you can be like 40 years old, but they could still stuck speaking about something that happened when you're 15 or 12 or something like that. So this is how we are becoming stalemate and stuck in a rut and with something from the past, and it's not very promising, but it's a slow progress. We have to continue to challenge our belief systems and have a healthy boundaries with the technology, especially when you know very quickly, very fast, they will consume you so deeply. You are just a fishing a victim. We don't want to be in that predicament, because when we are so involved so deeply, you have a hard time disconnecting. Like we're so used to and accustomed to stay connected indefinitely when it's a power outage or something. We have a hard time focusing, and this is what the detox and all these things that we discuss, but we're not really good with the practical solutions. So when we understand the contrast between different circumstances again and again, maybe this is when we are going to shift our understanding and awareness and think a little bit in depth, and see where your resources go out And is that your basic needs? You really need all these things? And how is enhancing your connection and your mental health, your physical health, by these external programming? Remember, every time you go external influences, this is not influences, this is a programming. A mind, power and influences happen in the external world, but it's really influencing you in a programming style. It's never anything inherently from you, within you. So therefore you're going to have a hard time navigating things, because the entrapment is never freedom. Entrapment happens from external world. The freedom happens from the internal world. When we come to terms with these little housekeeping tips, maybe we might have an easier time to wake up and get connected with unity consciousness and unconditional love. So this is another area. Hopefully it's important tips. Hopefully it's going to get us thinking. And it happened to you gradually, uh, because the growth is inevitable. Nevertheless, we are going to continue trying, coming up with the different ways, expressing our inner thoughts for the masses.